Hello, Ramblin' Man Moto coming at you. Not on the road right now. Wanted to talk about some recent news from our area. We've had 6 motorcyclists die in kind of rounds of 3. Back in April, 3 riders were killed in a 24-hour period here in the Richmond, Virginia area where I'm located. And then just over the past week or so, 3 more riders were killed. And you know, whenever this happens, you kind of you think inwardly on your own hobby habits. And there's also a few Facebook pages for the local Richmond area, some of the state, where people bring this stuff up. And I just wanted to speak to some of them. So in the accidents in April, there were 3 of them. Now the 3 in April, if you look at the first one, that first one happened on a Monday afternoon, around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And the story was that a motorcyclist lost control of his bike and crashed. He was a male and 25 years old. Second crash was a 25-year-old man who lost control of his bike, it said, and hit a sedan. The third rider was a 63-year-old man who was on I-295 in the Richmond area, which is a loop, lost control, went off the road, hit a guardrail, and was ejected from his bike and died. So then we fast forward to the accidents in August. First accident, a 30-year-old male lost control of his bike and collided with a power pole and died. Second accident, Courthouse Road in Chesterfield, which is a suburb of the Richmond area. 18-year-old rider cruising down the road collides with a sedan, dies at the scene. Third accident in August, a 20-year-old male collides with a sedan and dies from his injuries. In none of these accidents that involved sedans could I find any evidence that anybody in the sedan was injured. I did not do deep dives and follow-ups on all of these stories. I did a casual kind of browsing to see if I could find updates, and unfortunately there rarely is a follow-up publicly to these stories. Kind of the drive-by media reports on them and keeps going on. What you do tend to find is on the Facebook pages, there'll be kind of a common thread of discussion. And this time around, for the ones in August, people were saying, hey, what's been going on? There's a round of accidents in April. Now in August, there's been at least 3 deaths just here in the Richmond area. And there'll be a few camps. Some people that will say, don't blame the rider. You should honor him. Don't be a tool. The other camp are the people saying, well, obviously the rider was at fault. In most of these stories, there were, we'll call them allegations, that the riders were driving recklessly, speed, racing in and out, and including some witnesses that landed on these Facebook forums saying that. Well, one of the common threads was obviously all of the riders in these accidents were male. Statistically, we outnumber the female riders in the U.S. That tends to be the case. Not saying they're not riding in the Richmond area. I've seen them around. Don't know if they tend to be more cautious or not, but just statistically, there's more opportunity for males to crash. Aside from the 63-year-old rider, all of these riders were either in their 20s or one was 30 years old. And in the Facebook forums, there was a lot of critiquing of the riders. One of these accidents was in downtown Richmond at about, I think, 1:30 in the morning in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. And the conclusion people were drawing, he hit another vehicle, or the vehicle hit him, whatever, right? Is that pretty much can guarantee this guy out at that time of the morning on a sport bike was not cruising at 25 miles an hour. And I saw somebody in one of these Facebook forums make a comment that we have to teach these younger riders how to be safe. Well, that pie in the sky sounds good. The problem is those younger riders need to be willing to learn. And I think that's the problem. We were all younger and thought we were 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And you have to be open to learning these things. Some, as they view it, older fuddy-duddy coming in telling them what they don't know probably isn't going to have a lasting impact for these guys because they don't have an open mind. So then I started, just thinking about, okay, well, how do I avoid a similar situation? How do we all avoid a similar situation? I think one of the common threads is we have to ride defensively. We have to ride as if everybody else out on the road is out to kill us. And so that means we watch our speed and stay within a safe speed. 2 is we don't ride beyond our skill set. Did that happen with the 63-year-old? Did that happen with the people in their 20s? Did they leave enough time to stop? Did they know how to apply proper braking? Was their equipment in good working order? All of these things are things that may not have contributed to some of these accidents, but I think all of us probably know that speed was probably a factor, and there's a good chance, whether young or old, you're riding beyond your skill set. Maybe you had the skills at one time and age deteriorated those skills. In my case, I picked up riding later in life, and I'm pretty conservative with watching what I'm doing. I've had moments where speed has gotten beyond me, and it's not something I'm proud of. But I think this goes into another point, is to avoid group think. I think in some of these areas in Richmond, of some videos I've seen and some witnesses I've talked to and read their comments, is that there's been a lot of group rides going down Broad Street and in other parts of Richmond where people are popping wheelies, trying to outdo each other. And it's not good thinking. It's not a good habit. And it's kind of punk behavior, right? And it ends up where you end up having these accidents with people colliding with sedans and want to yell and get mad at the sedan or the SUV when it was really our own careless behavior that was contributing to it. It's not a popular view. They get very pissed when you bring it up. But I think we all know it's part of the problem is our own behavior with speed and reckless riding. I bumped into 2 older fellows a number of months ago, and they wanted to talk about my bike. They wanted me to start my bike so they could hear how it sounded. They used to ride. And I think both of them said they pretty much dialed it back, that they were older and didn't feel as safe. And one of the guys, maybe this is an old saying in the motorcycle world, I don't know, it was the first time I heard it put this way. The guy made a comment that
learning to ride can get you hurt. Knowing how to ride can get you killed.
And his point was that people start going a lot faster, taking more chances when they feel like they know how to ride, and it gets them killed. And it stuck in my mind as I'm out riding, thinking about that. And also, when I was reading one of the insurance articles, that a lot of people start having accidents around year 2 and year 3 and year 4 because they're starting to feel more confident, and they gradually start pushing the boundaries. Hey, it's great to get more experience. That's what I'm trying to do. But you got to be aware of what's happening mentally, is that you're getting more confident, yet there's still stuff you don't know. So you got to be aware and always kind of check yourself to bring it in. Now, the other saying I've heard a lot is kind of a variation of, is that there's a lot of old motorcycle riders. There's a lot of crazy, aggressive motorcycle riders, but there's not a lot of old, crazy, aggressive motorcycle riders. Point being, the crazy and aggressive end up becoming early organ donors rather than making it to old age. And, it's said kind of as a joke, but I think there's a lot of credibility and something for us to think about. The problem is, will the younger riders digest that? Now, I'm a less experienced rider, having been riding now about 3.5 years, and I still consider myself a newbie. I don't know if everybody does and considers themselves. I've ridden a lot of miles. I think I was trying to tabulate it the other day that I've probably been about, 24,000 miles across the 3 years. And I commented in another video about how used bikes are out there where people have owned them for 5, 7, 8 years and they have 1,500 miles on the bike. And, I've ridden a lot of miles, but still I lack confidence in a lot of things. And I think some of these younger riders are out there, and I'm thinking about that phrase the guy used of knowing how to ride can get you killed. Some of these guys I see doing things I know I couldn't do, and I also know I wouldn't do. Would I ever be able to do them? I don't think I'm even going to try. But, you're out on Broad Street standing up on your bike on the seat. Hey, it's impressive as heck. It's just not the right time and place, and it gives all of us a bad name. But I think we all know it's kind of part of the problem. Now, are there distracted drivers in cars? Absolutely. That's the problem. They are not looking out for your safety. So when you're doing these things, going fast, popping wheelies, whipping in and out of traffic, which at least in one of the accidents, witnesses said that's what was happening. Broad Street is 3 lanes and 3 lanes on the other side, and he was whipping in and out of traffic. Stuff happens, and those cars can't possibly react in a 45-mile-an-hour zone or less when you're going 70, right? They don't expect you to come up that quickly. So you've got to dial it back and realize what the time and place is for something like that. And so I said, when one of the Facebook commenters said, we've got to teach the younger riders. No, we've got to teach ourselves first and own up to some personal responsibility. If the young people will listen, that's great. But I think, if any of you have teenagers, we were all teenagers once, and we all think our parents and older people are idiots, right? And we try to tell our teenagers, I've told my teenagers that part of my job is to help keep them alive until about age 25, because their brains aren't fully formed until then. And you do stupid things and you take chances. And I thank God I'm still alive from some of the things I did. But, these younger riders are in the same camp. They think they're bulletproof. So we've got to look out for ourselves. So with that in mind, one of the things I've done is I've signed up for one of the free courses that the Virginia State Police offers across our state. And it's basically a check-in made for novices on up on skills. They cover braking, stopping, how to handle curves, how to avoid obstacles, how to do U-turns. It's obviously a basic course. I've never been through it. But I think it's going to be a good check-in, maybe remind me of some things I've forgotten, teach me some things I don't know. And hey, it's a free course. Free in government parlance. We're all paying for it through our tax dollars, but there's no additional fees or costs. So I've signed up for that in late September when it's going to be kind of near me. Go to the Virginia State Police website. You can sign up if you're in Virginia. They're all over the state at different locations. I signed up for this last year, and something happened. I don't remember what, but I had to cancel a few days before. But I'm going to be going. It's, I think, on a Saturday morning, and it's like a 5-hour course. So if they'll permit me to record, I might share some of the footage from that. But look after yourself. Maybe at the start of each season, when you're coming out, if you're rusty and haven't been riding, it's a good time to kind of take a similar course and do something like that. All right? I'm out here on my range on my property, and when the weather's been nice, this used to be one of the hobbies I did a lot, and I haven't been mowing and keeping up out on this part of the property because when the weather's nice, I've been out riding, and I plan to go riding today. Each day I'm like, hey, I'm going to get out on the gun range, start cleaning up. We've had some trees fall, I've had some targets get knocked down, need some maintenance out here, but I haven't been shooting this season really a whole lot. And I thought I might do that today, but if the weather's going to hold off and rain, I might get out and ride a little bit actually and hold this for another day. All right, I'll see you on the road. Be safe.